Welcome to another episode of Boots on the Ground with the Janys. Now, in today's episode, I would like to address the measures which were announced, which affect all of us when it comes related to property from the 15th of February onwards. Now, these measures were announced during the budget, which was on Valentine's Day, February 14th. And primarily, there are basically two areas which affect home buyers. And these are the first-time housing grants, and second is just a slight increase of the actual buyer's stamp duties. First off, a disclaimer, whatever I say here is just an opinion. And if you need more proper financial advice, please seek the advice of a licensed professional. So nothing that I say here, you should rely and go out and buy a property or something like this. But in any case, going down to these policies, basically, the budget focuses on family formation and home ownership in Singapore, which are basically the core values which we have in Singapore. And if you look at it, actually the impact is more on the higher end homes and homes which are priced, let's say, in excess of $3 million. So we will look at some live examples and I will give you a cheat sheet how to calculate the new buyer's stamp duty, so you know exactly what you're affected. So first off, we have this policy of increased subsidies for first-time HDB home buyers, and they have increased to 80,000 up from 50,000 for 4-room or smaller flats and 10,000 for 5-room or larger flats. So it's quite obvious from this policy that the smaller flats are subsidized more because we want to keep that sector of the market affordable. This is for youngsters, and if they take all the subsidies, they can get up to 190,000 in CPF grants. So that's a substantial sum. Why is it important? In my opinion, it's because there was a run-up in property prices, including the HDB prices. And I think when you add this to the 30-month debarment period when people sell a private property, I think this makes a very good change, because it just makes that sector, which is the basic bread and butter sector of the market, affordable, especially affordable to first-time home buyers, and especially those who are still young in the workforce. They may not have accumulated that amount of savings. Now, second off, we have the policy of nominal increase of buyer's stamp duty. Now, I think the last time it was increased was to 4% from 3%. So last time the formula is 3% minus 5,004, and then it was 4% minus 15,004. Essentially, what is affected is properties in excess of, let's say, 1.5 to 3 million. Buyer's stamp duty has increased to 5%, and the formula is 5% minus 30,400. And for those properties which are in excess of 3 million, the percentage is 6% minus 60,004. So let's crunch some numbers and see how this actually affects, because if you look at the Singapore property market, the bulk of the properties are in the $2 to $3 million range, or slightly above 3 million. So if you're talking about 6 million and above, these are more to the luxury type of big properties. So it doesn't really affect even the HDB upgraders in a big scale. So I've run some numbers, and what I found is, let's say I buy a property which is worth 2.8 million. So under the old regime, I would have paid $96,600 buyer's stamp duties, and now I would have to pay $109,600. So that's a difference of about $13,000. So yes, it is an increase, but it is a bearable increase. So I've run the same scenario. Let's say the property was worth $3.2 million, and the difference comes out to $19,000. That's 19. Now, if you take, let's say, a property of 6.7 million, the savings you would have if you bought it prior to February 15th would be about $89,000. So you can see as the numbers grow, so you basically pay more buyer's stamp duty. Again, all these policies are meant to keep the housing market stable. Personally, I don't think it's going to have a major impact to sort of affect the property market that adversely. So in conclusion, this is just an opinion or my view on how this budget was actually put together. Essentially, what I see is that it's towards a more gracious society where people who have the means actually pay a progressively higher buyer's stamp duty, but then it doesn't really affect the people on the lower end of the spectrum. So that will make an all-inclusive society. I think it also gives very good values. It inculcates good values into the society. And there's also some additional tax deductions when you donate. So I think that kind of reinforces the point that, we, the people who have the means, kind of contribute towards the people who are less fortunate, which will make towards a more inclusive society. But what are your views? Leave it in the comment section below. I'm interested to know. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to our content so that you will be alerted when a new video comes out. I'm Richard, I'm from the Janys, and I'll see you on the next one.